Hi everyone, welcome back to Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. I'm Sam, and I'm so stoked to bring you my first ever review for BangerTV. A little bit about me: I am the vocalist, lyricist, and resident demon for my band Astaroth Incarnate, and I also sing for fellow BangerTV host Dylan's band Iomare, and I like to screw my face off. So that's pretty much me. This week, I'm reviewing the newest album from the Swedish gothic doom metal titans Draconian.
Countless
That right there is Sorrow of Sophia, the song that kicks off the album Under A Godless Veil, which came out today, October 30th, via Napalm Records. A little bit about Draconian. They started off in Suffolk, Sweden back in 1994. They have now released 7 studio albums, and this is their second full-length album with singer Heikki. This album is the first album since their lengthy masterpiece Sovereign, which had really good hits like Rivers Between Us, and they also released 5 demo albums prior to this. And the band's current lineup consists of singer Heikki, harsh vocalist and lyricist Anders, guitarist Johan and Daniel, as well as drummer Jerry. Draconian are able to create these really expressive songs that immerse the listener in waves of extreme emotions. Their themes range from sorrowful, deep, and dark feelings, and sometimes including their Gnostic philosophy. And in this album, they really take you on this journey of Goddess Sophia. It's a grand story, so let's get into this album. The album starts off with a song you heard from earlier, which starts with a moody atmosphere and melancholic vocals from Heikki before the doom and gloom kick in full force, and the heavy melodic riffing hits you and is overlaid with Anders' demonic growls. Heikki carries the chorus of the song beautifully as the song shifts towards a dreamy landscape before picking it up into a dizzy intro riff, and clocks in at about 7.5 minutes. A good start. I do want to mention how good Anders' growls sound on this album, being a harsh vocalist myself, contrasting with Heikki's almost angelic voice. He sounds vicious, almost as ferocious as, say, like Michael from Opeth at times. And for anyone that misses Michael's growls on later Opeth albums, hey, definitely check this one out. This guy sounds good, man. The next song I'm going to talk about is Lustrous Heart. This, in my opinion, is definitely one of the best songs, simply because it clocks in at under 5 minutes and hitting all the nails on the head without wasting any time. Short and sweet with thundering drums, heavy melodic riffing, and probably the most catchy and repeatable song on the album. The production on the album is also really good. Everything stands out on their own, but doesn't take away from the overall wholesome sound. This is probably also their most diverse album. Really short 4-minute songs, to some songs having mostly or only Heikki singing, to the long experimental songs. Which brings me to my favorite song on the album, the Sethian. Sethianism is a form of Gnostic philosophy, or Gnostic belief system, which the band is influenced by. This is the only song on the album that has double bass, so you probably know what that means. This song is heavy. The album closes out with the longest song on the record, titled Ascend into Darkness. It has a little bit of everything, reminiscent of, I would say, some of their earlier albums even, with some black metal riffing, sometimes almost hypnotic growls from Anders, some gothic vibes, and a mixture of slow, doomy, and pacing, with Heikki singing some parts, and even mixing it with some upbeat mid-tempo drumming, which to me is a great way to close out the album. With all that said though, let's get into the bad parts of the album, shall we? Some things could have been done a little better. I felt like the album's pacing wasn't the absolute best at times, and the first half of the album is kind of monotone in terms of tempos, and the second half of the album is more diverse, and it has a mixture of pacing and tempo, so I think maybe balancing that out it would flow better. But that's pretty much it. What do I think of this album? Let's get into the verdict. I personally think Draconian have created a pretty strong comeback since their last album, Sovereign, and this album has a little bit of everything for their diehard fans and even new people just finding out about the band now and trying to get into them, or maybe just getting into the genre. This is a good band to get into. For all those reasons, I'm giving this album a solid 4 Doom Skulls out of 5 here on Overkill Reviews. It's shoutout time. Oh boy, do I have a lot, so please bear with me. For my first shoutout, I'd like to talk about the brand new EP from the extreme metal titans Carcass, titled Despicable, out today as well via Nuclear Blast Records. This is a 4-song EP that starts off with a fantastic The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. I cannot tell you how excited I was for this EP. The next artist is a Japanese visual K band named Jiluka, releasing their 7-track mini album Xtopia via DPR Japan Records, which came out on October 14th. The band has a dizzying mix of sound ranging from super technical riffing, crazy solos, orchestration, blast beats to brutal breakdowns with a mixture of really guttural and soaring melodic sounding clean vocals. They also look super cool. The third shout out is an artist I'm personally really stoked to share. It's Florida rap metal beast Ghostemane, who just released his 8th studio album Anti-Icon via Black Mage Records out October 21st. I've been super impressed with his bizarre mix of noise, rap, black, death metal, hardcore, definitely go fry your brains out on that. My last shout out goes out to the return of the ever experimental Mike Patton's Mr. Bungle, titled The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. It's also out today via Episac Records. This is actually a re-recording of the band's original demo tape all the way back from 1985. The year I was born. Yay. It's also their first album to be released in over 20 years, and also it's their first album to feature Anthrax guitarist Scott Ian, as well as, get ready for this, Slayer drummer, fucking Slayer, Dave Lombardo. So definitely give this album a spin. Thank you for watching Overkill Reviews, and I'm signing off until next time. Ciao.